He's running for Texas Comptroller in the Republican primary, and boy, does he have a lot of endorsements, and he's ready, as he says, to DOGE Texas. Don Huffines, welcome back. How are you today, sir?
I am great. Just fantastic. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Okay, well, tell us why first you decided to jump into this race.
Well, because it's imperative that we follow Donald Trump's example in Washington, D.C., follow his leadership skills, and DOGE the state of Texas. And that means let's audit all the government agencies. Let's audit everything we can that government's responsible for, expose fraud, waste, and abuse. And I'm going to fight like heck to return that savings back to the taxpayers.
Let's talk about that, because I think this may be one of the main arguments between you and maybe some of your opponents out there is what the job of the comptroller is. I had one of your opponents on last week who just had announced that they were running, who says, "Well, we've already got a DOGE committee. The legislature has a DOGE committee, and the job of the comptroller is really to work with them and work with the governor." Do you see it in a different way?
I do. I absolutely do. The office is responsible, of course, as you know, for collecting all the state taxes and managing billions and billions in revenue, writing the official budget estimates for the legislature to follow. And the comptroller controls the flow of money through every state agency. If it's taxpayer funded, it runs through the comptroller's office. And I look at it this way: the comptroller's got a fiduciary responsibility to find out if the money that the agencies are spending, or anyone spending this Texas taxpayer money, is being spent correctly and properly.
So what does that mean? I mean, I guess are you looking for it going to woke programs? Are you looking for it going to just things that taxpayers may or may not like? I mean, what kind of things are you going to be looking for?
Well, that's a very good question. Let me just say this. The comptroller does not report to the governor. The comptroller does not report to the legislature. Of course, I'm going to be working with them, but the comptroller reports to the voters, and that's who hires the comptroller, is the voters. And I've been a taxpayer champion all my life, and I'm going to continue to do that. And what we're talking about is DOGing the state. And that's looking at where the money's going. Is it being spent properly? Is the original purpose of those the legislature says to spend the money on, are they being satisfied? Mm-hmm. And that's what DOGing means. It's much more than just simply auditing.
Yeah. So what? Let's say you find some of these offices or wherever the money is going that are either mishandling the money or not spending it the right way. At that point, what can you, if elected as comptroller, what can you do about it?
Well, first I'm going to call the FBI and the Texas Rangers get involved, and that's exactly what I did previously. I'm the only person running for this office that's actually rooted out government corruption and shut government down. When I was in the state Senate, there was a agency in Dallas County that I started digging into, and that were stealing millions of dollars. I got the Rangers and FBI involved. We got 6 people put in prison, and I got that agency shut down overnight with a legislation I got done. And they were spending over $100 million annually, and the state of Texas spends that in about 7 hours. Mm-hmm. And we're spending over $500 million a day in the state of Texas. That's $350,000 every minute of every day. I can guarantee you that we need to DOGE the state of Texas.
You have been a very vocal advocate of doing away with property taxes, and not just property tax reform. You've been a very, very big advocate of getting rid of property taxes. Do you believe that through this process, there's enough savings, there's enough money to where the legislature can go back, maybe through these savings, and do away with property taxes?
Well, this isn't a legislative position, as you know.
Sure.
And the most important thing that the comptroller can do is use the bully pulpit. and I'll use it every week on a regular scheduled basis to make sure that the billions of dollars I tend to save and find it's wasteful is put back to property tax relief. However the legislature decides to do, it's up to them. But I am absolutely a champion of eliminating the school tax and as much of the property tax as we can, because I know that Texans are tired of renting their property from the government and never really owning it.
So are you also, I mean, does that also mean, because you bring up that you'll be able to use the bully pulpit, that it's not a legislative deal, that if there's a agency out there that the comptroller can't go through and shut down that agency, that's got to be, you got to kind of use the bully pulpit to have the legislature do that. You got to work hand in hand with the legislature on that.
Yes, that would be the case. We would have to work with them and or law enforcement, or if they're stealing the money, of course.
Do you think the legislature, just looking back on this session, do you think the legislature has it in them to do it? And I mean, to really save money, because in this session, they spent a lot of money.
They certainly have. And I look at it this way. I don't think we're going to have a surplus. I'm going to rephrase that. I'm going to say that we've overcharged our customers. We need to return all the money back to the people, because the money belongs to the taxpayer. It doesn't belong to the government. And that's the fundamental difference between me and almost any politician that's been in Austin. I look at it as the taxpayer money. It's my money. It's your money. Right. It's everyone's money. And we need to return that back. If we pay the government too much, it belongs to us. Let's give it all back to the taxpayer.
Visiting with Don Huffines, who's running for Texas Comptroller. Already, you've got a pretty impressive list of endorsers behind your campaign. Talk to us a little bit about that. What does it mean to you to have some of these big endorsements that you do have?
It's very humbling, and it means we're going to win, and that's just a fact. I mean, let's just walk through the list. Cruz, Senator Cruz came out early for me. Ron Paul came out for me. Vivek Ramaswamy. Just last week, we announced on Monday Wesley Hunt, Tuesday Riley Gaines, Wednesday Charlie Kirk. And I've got the 75% of the SREC, that's the executive committee that runs the Republican Party in the state of Texas. It's unprecedented to get that many of them to endorse my campaign. I've got the national committee man, national committee woman. Almost every conservative organization in the state of Texas has already endorsed. If they've endorsed, I've gotten their endorsements, and that list is extremely long. From Texas Homeschool Coalition, Moms for America, Moms for Liberty, Texas Right to Life. I can just go through the list, but I'll leave a lot off. There isn't any conservative organization that's not going to endorse.
All right. How can people find out more information about you and your campaign and all that kind of good stuff?
Absolutely. Go to donhuffines.com, donhuffines.com, and look at all the endorsements we've got. It's an extremely long list, and sign up to volunteer and help us out.
All right, very good. Don Huffines, it's always a pleasure to visit with you, and I'm sure we'll visit again during the primary, and as we get closer to the election, let's get you on again.
Oh, thanks, Chad. I'll call anytime. You call me anytime. Happy to visit.
All right, very good.
God bless you.
Yes, you as well. That's Don Huffines, Republican candidate, Texas Comptroller. We'll be right back.